Thank you. Very well. How are you?
How's it going? I'm great. Yeah, sorry about the delay. I'm actually on the other side of the bag today. I was caddying the whole day actually. We had two matches because my friend Elise made it through. So we're on to the semifinals tomorrow morning. Afternoon match was a little bit of shaky, but
That's fantastic.
we
And
made it
we
through, so
always
that's what
talk
matters.
about be authentic when it comes to social media. I don't think it gets more authentic for a golfer than to be doing this podcast on the golf course, which is awesome.
And I mean, you couldn't ask for a better night. We're out here. I'm in Florida right now, and the sun is setting. I don't know if you can see
Yes.
how nice the sunset is behind me, but it is. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better night.
That's
So yeah, it's
fantastic.
pretty
Thanks for
authentic, I
joining
would
us.
say.
So, for all of our listeners who are not yet familiar with you, you're a professional golfer on the Symetra Tour, and you also have all of your experience stores set up on the SPRTER app, so where followers can buy
Yep.
and engage with you through experiences, Zoom calls, nutritional plans, personal comms, and a music playlist. So I'm excited for that. Check that out on the SPRTER app. And thanks
Yes.
for joining the podcast. Walk me through, how did it all start? How did you start with golf, and what was that one thing that lit the fire for you to wanting more with golf?
Well, growing up, I played everything. I was in sports really young, golf included. I started playing golf when I was 5 with my brother, who's almost just about 2 years younger than I am. And, it was just one of the things we did, we enjoyed. We were lucky enough to grow up on a golf course. So, coming home from school, if, we didn't have baseball practice or basketball practice or whatever else we were playing at the time, it was a fun thing to do. Back then we were lucky enough that iPads and phones and, Xboxes weren't in our hands all the time. And so we spent a ton of time outside, and it was really awesome to be able to walk to the golf course with my younger brother and hang out. And, we'd be out there until, hang out until mom called the shop and said, hey, you got to come home for dinner. And so, that's what we did. And, we started playing in the summers and traveling, and that was amazing, getting to travel around. I grew up in California, so traveling around most of California. And then as we got older and started playing better across the country, it was so fun. Those are really special memories I have with my mom and my brother. And, as far as why I picked it and what lit the fire, I actually, as a kid, really wanted to be a professional basketball player. And unfortunately, topping out at 5 foot, maybe 5'1" on a good day, didn't end up playing in my favor. So, got to high school, and it just, kind of decided to go with just golf, and, went from there. It was a blast. So, I've been really lucky with the teams I've had, the coaches I've had, the people I get to travel with now have all been fantastic. Each one comes with an amazing experience. Meeting the people we do across the country is nothing better, honestly. And to be 25 and be able to do that for a job
I
is
cannot
the
even
best thing I could
imagine.
ask
So,
for.
yeah, it sounds phenomenal. And you are currently caddying. You said you're making a through the next round. So, what's the difference? Obviously, as a caddy, you have a very different set of eyes. You're looking for different things. How's that different, a day as a caddy versus a day as a golfer?
Some golfers don't love being caddies. They'd rather be playing. And while, yes, I always would rather be competing, caddying is honestly a great way to watch other people play, kind of see how other people approach certain things. And it's also, a really good way. I look at it as a great way in working on course management. Because when you're sitting there and you're not talking through things, you're on your own. It's kind of easy to get emotionally attached to the outcome and things that are going on. But being a caddy, you're one step removed from everything that's going on, and you just have a clearer picture. And I think all of my caddying experiences have really helped me in being able to kind of do that, be my own self caddy when I'm playing by myself without a caddy. And also too, it's a great way to just kind of pick people's brains that I'm, friends with. My friend today, we were chatting about short game technique, and the differences our coach, like different people we've met and worked with, have taught us, and things like that are just, they're really fun. I mean, you're constantly, you stay in a learner's mindset.
That sounds
the entire
exciting
time,
in
and
terms
it's a
of
lot
that,
of fun.
that mindset, that short game mindset. What do you do? How, in terms of technical analysis, that when you're not on the course, how much goes into your training? How much do you do for your own game?
Yeah, so technical analysis can definitely, especially in off weeks, can take up a majority of the time, I'd say, when I'm in a practice mindset. So, being out on the range, working TrackMan and specific numbers, running drills, things like that take up a large portion of time outside of going out and playing. I do enjoy going and playing on the course and practicing on course. I think it's the best way to simulate real-time situations as best as possible, because you can sit there and you can hit the same shot over and over again on the range or on the chipping green or on the putting green, but until you go out on the course and you do it different shots, you only get one chance. It really, I think, makes things more interesting. You're not getting stuck
that
in
makes a lot of sense.
set spot.
I want to come back to one thing that you just mentioned here, and that's that that mindset. You can only get one shot. But before we do that, we have something we call Poll Booth, where we do a quick fire round for our listeners to learn more about you. So, TaylorMade or Callaway?
Okay. Ooh, I've played both. I actually don't play either in my bag, but I'd probably go Callaway because of their putters.
Following NCAA versus professional sport.
Depends, but NCAA,
March Madness is pretty exciting. Other sports as well,
oh, yeah.
But that's really when it comes down. I agree. Country music versus rap music. Country. Movie or series?
Ooh, definitely country.
Dogs or cats?
Movie.
Slice or draw?
Definitely dogs.
Tiger versus DeChambeau. Cardio
Tiger,
versus
any
weights. Indian versus
weights,
Mexican food. I like
Mexican
both,
food.
but yeah, a good taco, good guac. I can't deny it.
Yeah, it also helps. My mom's Mexican, so like
a good thing you do.
Really like Mexican as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So there's a little bit of gets us a little bit more insights on who you are and some of those preferences. Now let's come back to that one shot. When you prep and you say you can't really prep for that on the course, what's that mindset? Do you do some visualization? Do you do any of that? Do you put yourself under some stress, as in, if I don't make it, I'll put $50 on, I give $50 to the next person I see, or that type of.
Well, I don't give away money right away like that, but yeah, I do put pressure. One of the great things is my brother actually just turned professional as well, and we are living together. So a great way to work on simulating pressure is matches against each other. We both have different strengths, and we both see things in each other's games that not everyone else sees because we've been around each other so long. So it's a great way to simulate pressure, like, oh, I'll play you for this. The other day it was his birthday and we were both playing in a tournament, and I said low round gets dinner. Unfortunately he shot better on his birthday, so I owe him dinner. But it's a great way to kind of go about, if you make this, you get you win your match, and you won the match, so you don't lose, so you win $10 that day. Or you'll go out and you have to,
Yeah.
we'll do a chipping contest and stuff like that. So like keeping things like
I
pressure
can see that. And
oriented is
living
always
together is
really,
probably
really
one of
good.
the things, like loser does the dishes.
Unfortunately for him, he doesn't get to bet for that, because the rule in the house is I cook, he cleans. So he gets stuck doing the dishes because he doesn't love cooking. But I'd be about it,
Fair enough.
Definitely
That's
keep the
awesome.
house pretty clean that way.
Role models in your athletic career. Who did you look up to? Who do you look up to now? And who do you emulate your game from?
Yeah, so growing up, with my mom being Mexican, Lorena Ochoa was a huge inspiration. And it was really cool when we were younger. They used to have an LPGA tour event about an hour and a half from my house. And so we went one time, and it was so awesome just getting to see her there, watching how she interacted with the fans and people. Even in the space of, she was getting ready, she ended up in a playoff, and she went out, but she still took the time to like say hi to people, sign things, and then head back up for the playoff, and things like that. You can spend all the time getting prepared and refining your game to such an extent, but there's something about being personable and still remembering that there are things outside of the sport and there are bigger things in life. And I think, seeing the way she interacted with people has really has really influenced how I am. Anyone who knows me out on tour, I'm really easygoing. I love hanging out with people. I love supporting my friends, even though we're competing. And it's just always been, if I see kids at an event, like there is a 9-year-old girl here at the event I'm playing, or I was playing and now caddying in. And she was out there every day watching. She loves golf, just started. And so I saw her up one day. I went and I signed a glove and I gave it to her. And then I said, bring your clubs tomorrow. So she brought her clubs out today. And in between the matches, we had a little 45-minute lesson, just hanging out, chatting. And, for me, like stuff like that is really important. Growing the game, continuing to give back so much of what the game has given me. You can't beat the game of golf. You can't beat enjoying a sport that you can play for the entirety of your life if you so choose. And so
Awesome
that's always
in
been
terms
really
of
big for
that.
me.
No, not just looking at the on-field, but also of that off-field behavior. How does an athlete behave? How to interact with fans, and then being a role model yourself in a way. And hey, you bring your gloves, so we'll do a little session. That's amazing. Amazing to hear. You just mentioned,
Yeah.
There's a 9-year-old little girl. We don't see a lot of diversity. We don't see a lot of women in golf, or more and more, which is great to see, but we don't see as much. Where do you see this going, and what does golf need to change in order to change that as well?
Well, I think, golf is definitely, especially in the wake of COVID-19, while it caused so many problems in the golf industry, it actually really opened it up. The one thing people could do was go outside and play golf. And you saw more people picking it up. You saw families taking it up, things like that. And, you're continuing to see young girls be drawn to it, whether it be, they had a clinic at the club and they just wanted to test it out, or they have, some of these mini tours come out to smaller towns, and they come out and they see us playing, and they realize, oh, like we could play that, like it's not just the guys on TV. And that's, one of the biggest things I would say is exposure. Women's golf still, to a point, doesn't receive the same exposure as men, even as far as TV time. Prime time TV is really big, and as a sport that runs 4 days out of the week, sometimes even more, depending on if it's a big major week. They've got live from the Masters is big. Masters week is huge for men's golf, and the women's golf just doesn't have that visibility yet. We don't have that pull. You know, part of it is we haven't had a Tiger Woods phenom come out on the women's side and kind of just explode and bring it to people's eyes. You know, but the visibility is such a key part of growing the game in general, but growing women's sports in general. You know, giving the athletes that have put so much time and effort into perfecting their craft the same respect and the same opportunities to be seen and watched by everyone in the world as their male counterparts. And so, you know, luckily it's continually getting better. And it's something that I think, you know, events like the one I'm at, or events like the KPMG, where they do a women's summit the week leading up with some of the most high power women around, to you know, at the US Open they have like girls golf, like LPGA girls golf has a station there, and kids can come out and they can, you know, hit balls and check it out and meet other girls and things like that. So like those small things, while they're small at the moment, are going to make a really large lasting impact. And the nice thing is when you look at statistics as far as those entering the game, like with the first tee, which is a huge part of my junior career, is the amount of girls that are a part of it. And I think right now they're at 45, maybe 50% of participants are girls, and that's incredible. You know, getting girls in sports in general is so key. So it's fun to be on the other side, seeing what it's done for me and how I can help in getting more to kind of have the experience I had, whether they go pro or not.
I totally agree. In terms of COVID has really provided a lot of opportunity for golf being outside, and the industry has completely exploded. So that's awesome. But I didn't know the stats around women's golf, and that is really good to hear. Now, when we're thinking about golf and in terms of, you know, the next generation, we have a segment where we call Pro Advice. Ask our followers to send us some questions to ask you now. So we got 2 questions. The first one reads, I have rounds where I play really well, but once one shot goes poorly, I lose it and I can't refocus. How can I deal with that?
That is probably one of the most common problems we all face. You know, I think a large part of it is it stems from expectations. The more you do well in the round or in the practice, you're like, okay, I got it. So I need to keep doing it, and I need to keep doing it better. And you are doing it well for an extended period. And then as soon as you have that one, you know, missed shot, lipped out a short putt, whatever it may be, it's like, oh, well, now I failed. Instead of, okay, I've been doing really well. That was one hiccup. I'm going to keep going and try and focus on the positives that I've taken out of the first, you know, 5, 10, 15 holes, whatever it may be, instead of focusing on the one bad thing. And I think that's so easy for us to do, is focus on the negative, because we almost feel like the positive is an expectation. Like the good result is the expectation. Anything that differs or deviates from that is automatically bad, and it's the only thing we can think about. You know, the human mind stores negative thoughts 3 times more than positive thoughts. Or it was like 3 times or 7 times last time I read. And so it's so easy for us to kind of be like, well, of course it's good because I've been working on it. And then when it's bad, it's like, well, you suck. You're not working on it enough, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you have to remember that like all the effort and work you've put in doesn't just disappear with the one bad shot. Which I think is something every golfer can work on. I mean, I still work on it.
I think everyone has that, whether it's golf or whether it's other sports. It's, as you said, it's so easy to focus on a negative and forget that, well, I just hit 60 shots and they were all really good until now. So this is awesome. I think that's really helpful advice. Thank you. And the second question reads, I feel like my training hasn't been helping me like it should. How can I tell my coach that I'm not really happy with the exercises that I'm doing?
Well, I think that's a two-part. First would be making sure you're doing the drills or the
Mm-hmm.
exercises, whatever it may be, correctly. Very often, if something is slightly off, well, the intended result isn't going to occur because the setup is incorrect. And that's something even I have to be reminded of. I'll send something to my coach and he'll be like, well, you're doing this because it's off a little bit this way. It's aimed too far right, so you're going to end up doing this to compensate. And I'm like, well, crap. Of course it's not going to turn out well if I'm not even setting it up to be effective. So that's step one. And step two is, before talking to the coach, is really understanding, why isn't it helping? Is it, does it not make sense? Do I not believe in what I'm trying to do? Things like that are really important before just automatically blaming it on the fact that it's not working. Because a large part of success is honestly believing in what you're doing and repeating it even when sometimes it doesn't work out great, and sometimes it could just be that practice makes perfect, and in golf perfect doesn't exist, so you just keep practicing, which isn't always the most entertaining of things. It can be tiring, but at the end of the day,
No,
when you pull it
I
off,
agree with that. As
it's
in,
always worth
do
it.
your own research first before you go to the comments like, yo, it doesn't work. Like, what crappy exercise you giving me? I'm like, So I think, as you said, do your homework first, as in, but I do think that once you've done that, it's probably fair to say, hey, I don't feel this is working, and could we find another way to move forward? But I totally agree with your recommendation here, as in, do your homework first. Now, we have a segment we call Break the Rules. And Break the Rules is one rule that would make golf better. Now, what better means, it could be anything. Could be more entertaining, could be more fun, could be anything that comes to mind. If you were in charge of golf, what would you change?
A couple things automatically pop to mind. One is like a standard golf rule, like regards to, you hit a good shot down the fairway and you end up in a divot. Well, you hit a good shot, but now you're stuck in a divot and you're getting penalized anyways. So I was honestly hoping when they changed the rules in 2019 that you could pop it out of the divot if it's in the fairway. But, that's just like one simple one. But honestly, I think what would make it really fun in competition would be, the liveliness of an arena. Like you go to a basketball game and they've got music playing and, people are hanging out, and I think like that would kind of make it fun. They've kind of tested things at the Zurich Classic. They have walkout songs and stuff like that. But, like having space where you can play music if you want while you're playing, as long as it's cool with your competitors or something like that. Like I was talking to my friend today and she's like, it would be really nice if we could do that. Because sometimes it's, it's too quiet, or sometimes, we just need something to distract or, make something enjoyable. I mean, when you're out here for a long day, things like that make a difference.
So it's almost like rebel golf and a little bit of fun. I like that. I really like that idea. Yeah. That's cool. I didn't know they tried that at the Zurich Open. So I was always thinking, as in, you should need to dedicate one hole and say this is like a discounts double, and you do that before you actually start playing the first hole. It's like hole 7 counts double, or hole 13, as in something like that, as in it counts, like something like that. And it could be like almost like your kicker, could be your wild card. Or you remove one hole.
Yeah, that could make things interesting.
So
that could
introducing
definitely
a
make
little bit of
interesting.
strategy there to the.
I kind of like
rather
that.
than you play all well. It's like now it really counts, particular for a TV audience. Like, oh, now Emily
Yeah.
Laskin on hole 7. This is a double
Yeah.
hole. You know, it's like, oh shit, now I'm listening.
Yeah. 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 That would make things, that would definitely make things interesting. That would definitely really add
So
the pressure,
that's
that's for
my,
sure.
if I'm ever be in charge of golf, that's my rule change. I like yours too, so we could maybe combine
I
it with,
like
that'll
it.
be a fun tournament.
Yeah.
All
That
right,
would
well, we
be.
got you
I'd
in, so
play it.
that's a good start. I want to finish on a high note. What is, and this whole interview has been a high note, so I really enjoyed it, but what is the best round of golf that you ever played, or the most memorable round of golf that you've ever played?
You know, I've had some really awesome um, golf experiences. But you know, at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know if I could like pinpoint one specific one. You know what? I probably could. I played in a mini tour event during COVID with Carlotta Segonda, who at the time was ranked 15th in the world. So she's where I want to be, you know? And I've followed her since she first came out on tour. Like, I've grown up watching her on TV, and now I'm standing next to her getting ready to tee off, and I'm just kind of standing there with my jaw open. And while I was pretty distracted the whole day and didn't play my best, it was so awesome to just sit there and just watch her and like pick her brain as she was out playing and we were out playing. And you know, that's definitely, you know, and to realize that they're like the people who are where you are, you know, on the LPGA, on the PGA tour, in the NBA for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, like they're humans too, and they're normal people. And you know, I think one of the best things was that she was just so willing to help, you know. And I mean, some of the stuff she pulled off, I was like, that was really incredible. I've never seen that happen, and I want to do that. You know, so it was a great way to, you know, this is what I need to be able to do. You know, refine my skills to get to this, but also know that she's human. She hits errant shots. She makes mistakes, and yet she can still pull it together and end up on top. So that was definitely probably one of the
And that's
coolest
really cool to see
experiences I've
that,
had.
hey, this is where I want to be, this is what it takes, but then also it's like, well, she makes mistakes as well. So again, going back to that mindset, like, yeah, it's fine to make mistakes, and we all do. So that sounds like a really
Mm-hmm.
good golf round. I see the sun is setting and it's beautiful. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time
Yes.
during this awesome golden hour. Um, Thanks so much for your insights. Thanks for joining the podcast. I also want to make sure that we also mention your experience store on the SPRTER app again, where fans can really request a wide range of experiences with you and learn from you. So that's the
Yeah.
music playlist. I have some other questions for that down the road, but um,
Oh yeah. I am outside of golf, one of my biggest passions is music. I can't play an instrument, I can't sing, but I love the beauty of it. So music is definitely like I'm all in when it comes to music. I thrive on making people playlists. It's fun for me. Sometimes I discover new stuff, and other times I love being able to share music with other people. It's such a great way to connect. So I am definitely
awesome.
all
Can you
about
tease it?
music
What's one
playlists.
song that would be on any of those? It's like,
On any of those. You know, one that's such a great uplifter is Better Days by Dermot Kennedy. He's a Irish singer, songwriter, and he is unbelievable. One of the best lyricists
all right.
I've ever come across.
Well, I'll have to look him
He's
up,
fantastic.
and maybe that's my next walk-up song.
Yeah. I like it. Maybe not the best
Okay,
walk-up song, but a
we could
great
all
like
need that.
feel-good song for sure.
Thanks
Yeah.
so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Have an awesome evening.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and good luck on the tour.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
All
it. I
right.
loved
Thanks. Bye.
having the time to be on.